When I was quitting smoking, I felt like I was in constant war with myself. One part of me builds everything, yet the other part of me destroys every single bit progress I made. Yet I find a way out. It was really frustrating, but I'm glad I find a way out, become a 3-year-old non-smoker and help 2 people so far. So in this video, I'm gonna explain the whole situation in this weird graph so you can understand the concept much more better and become a non-smoker like me. So this is technically what I call quitting cycle, and it's kind of pretty chaotic, as you can see, like a roller coaster. So this is the beginning. This is you, by the way, who just has a cigarette in his mouth, and you decided to quit, let's say. You decided to quit, you don't want to do this anymore, blah, 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 all of the reasons in this world. Then you start to make a progress on this. And this uphill represents the progress you made. For example, first day, second day, third day of attempts, and it really went successful. But unfortunately, it hits top, you know. But then we start to get comfortable, then let's say this is the 4th day, then everything starts to went downhill. On the 5th day, you don't know what to do. On the 6th day, you start to crave cigarettes. On the 7th day, you're about to put a cigarette in your mouth to try yourself, it's gonna work or not, blah, blah, blah. Then you eventually fail and light the cigarette. This is our downhill. And what a surprise. The same action which made us started at the first point is gonna trigger here again. Because why? Like, of course, the goal is become non-smoker. And we failed in this goal, so we want to achieve it again. As human beings, we especially hardwired to make goals reality. What this guy gonna do is basically start again with the same reason. I'm gonna touch on that reason, but to make things clear, I'm explaining this. So this guy comes to here, day 8, day 9, oh sorry, like, they start from the day 1, which we're gonna talk about in next videos. Day 2, day 3, maybe day 4, and day 5, questioning their lives again. Day 6, day 7, they'll find themselves failing again. You may didn't have a clear understanding, but let's make these things clear. Basically, either we start smoking or stop smoking. There's a certain action to implement that, and we have a strong reason to do so, because making any change in our lives basically is painful. I'm not saying quitting smoking is painful, but making the decision of it is painful. And to justify this into our minds, we look for a reason. But most of the time, the reasons we look for is extremely logical, which is bullshit. So why this guy's telling your conscious mind bullshit or any bad words? Like, let me explain it for a second. You know, there was a time where I really tried to justify my quitting habit with logic. I was saying to myself, you're spending $300 per month, you're losing your life, you lost your wife because you couldn't get hard, and it's the worst thing happen could as a man. But although I have these all logical reasons, it didn't make sense, because there is a thing that I missed. And this is the average line, this small line. Let me make it much more clear, like that. This is the average. I'm gonna just write A here so you can see. As you can see, as human beings, we don't peak to our highest standards. We just fall into the baseline. So we felt a little bit comfortable, and we felt like we're making a change in this world. So what did I did instead of this goddamn logic? Well, I just find my why, basically an emotional reason to do so. Because if you really observe how you started smoking, it's an emotional reason. Either you wanted to be cool in front of your friends, wanted to escape from bad situation, maybe your father died and you want to smoke, or let's say you want to torture yourself. Basically, it's another escape, you know. You just felt like you're a piece of shit, like I think about my past, and just wanted to smoke and kill yourself slowly, because I didn't have any courage to suicide. It's, it's kind of bad to say, but anyway. And you think this roller coaster cycle happens because of this factor, that factor. You're trying to search the factor for external outcomes, which you may sometimes say, oh, it's cravings causing this, or something else. But the main problem is, it's interesting to say, but you. You are the problem. So what this guy basically wearing his jacket at 7 a.m. telling you, you're a problem. So that's why I'm saying that. Wait a second. So here's our beliefs. I'm basically explaining psychology to you because smoking is a psychological habit. That's the only knowledge we know. You don't have to use vapes like I did. And eventually I felt I didn't quit with vape, but it was painful to do so. So basically, here's our beliefs as human beings. Here's our characteristics as human beings. Simple as that, right? And when it comes to smokers, they don't really start in a good way. All of them have negative experiences about life. Of course, it's not a surprise if you smoke that much. And it kind of forms a negative feedback loop. So before the negative feedback loop, this is basically how our beliefs set up, emotion and logic. As you can see, our beliefs formed 99% emotional, 1% logical. That's pretty much it. That's why when we try to justify this goddamn habit with logical reasons, such as you're spending money, you're dying, which just sounds weird, right? It's not gonna work. What we need to do is we have to target the emotional side of it. So what do you mean by target the emotional side of it? Basically, why? So I was actually quitted smoking so fast because I was being honest with myself. I didn't say things like this, right? I didn't say you're addict, you're loser. No. Like, of course, the truth is I was a loser. But I didn't bully myself, and I just said, your life's going nowhere, which is the biggest emotional reason to do it. Before I started smoking, I was a pro athlete who played basketball, and I was literally about to go NBA. Like, maybe you think you're coping, you this, but literally I was talented. And I was guaranteed to play this sport in my hometown, which is Turkey. And imagine, like, my career was all set, and this stupid guy, which is my past version of Red, like, lighted a cigarette, then become addicted because he didn't know this cycle, and no one's making goddamn YouTube videos like this. And everything fell apart. Right now, I find myself studying mechanical engineer, but you know, I could be an athlete, but I fucked my way out, basically. But until I ask this why, basically find the main reason behind it, everything changed. And this is an emotional reason. Okay, you may say your life is going nowhere, it could be logical, but at the same time I lost my career, I lost my girlfriend, I lost my half of the erection, you know. I was literally struggling to get hard, and this is not a fucking logical reason to do, because you could live without your penis, nothing is problem. And I was fine, I was living a comfortable life, but this core reason just made me something different. At that time I didn't realize, and I lived the next days with such panic because I didn't know what was I doing. Otherwise I quitted smoking, and I only realized after 6 months. I was just in a party sitting with one of my friends, and this guy lighted a cigarette in front of me, and I was oh, I'm gonna trigger it, oh no. But nothing happened. Nothing happened, and I realized the main reason is this why. That's pretty much it. So how you could find your why? Basically, observe. Let me take it a note as well. Basically, observe. You have to think more about it. You have to allocate some time more about it. And as basically smokers or any habits we do in like junk food, whatever, we kind of used to having the response so immediately. We kind of looking for the solutions that is gonna make us quit in milliseconds. We're gonna be searching for answers that we're gonna find in milliseconds, which is possible, but you have to allocate time on that. You literally have to sit like I'm sitting right now and actually observe your actions, observe your feelings, observe your thoughts, whatever. That's what I did. I actually sit on the same chair 6 years ago and literally question my life. What the fuck I'm doing like that? Anyway, I hope you get this point. So let me hop onto the characteristics part. So like I said in the belief part, this forms our characteristics, and literally we start to have negative beliefs about ourselves. Basically, for example, smoking habit makes us feel like a cash cow. Which is true, right? We're giving our money to poison ourselves, and that doesn't make sense. That literally doesn't make sense. But hey, our logical brain doesn't form any fucking belief. So like, we're feeling like a slave because our emotion says we're out of control, blah blah blah, and we may be let's say like I'm playing for the worst outcomes, like we're contemplating suicide because that's what I did in the past. I'm still alive, as you can see, and I don't want anything to end up here. Oh, that was bad. So, to quick solution, what we could do to handle this is victory. Okay, like you say, what the heck is victory? Victory means basically you anything achieve good in your life. It could be sitting standstill and recording a video. It could be playing an instrument. It could be saying hi to a stranger or the person you know. It could be actually taking a breath. It depends on you. The victory, the meaning of the victory lies in you. I want you to remember any moments where you felt victorious. Maybe you handled quitting smoking like me. Maybe you make a successful observation attempt like I preached to you, and just sit peaceful for a couple of seconds and imagine this moment while you close your eyes. Once you do that, you're gonna feel extremely relaxed. I could literally guarantee that, and you're gonna feel like proud. And even if you do this often, you're gonna question the beliefs you got, such as being slave and out of control, because the meaning of victorious doesn't correlate with being a slave. You know, how the heck a slave, which doesn't have any willpower in his freaking life, could do anything, right? It's just out of control, doing what the boss says. Like basically the boss is fucking cigarettes, as you can see, doing what the boss says and copes with life. Basically, he can't do nothing like that, and he blames the other things, this, that. But like I said in the previous steps, it's all about you. It's you. And this is another analogy to make it much more clear. Okay. So I want you to yourself imagine you're in a car and this car going to a certain destination. This is fucking car. I don't know, Tesla, whatever your dream car is. I don't have dream cars, but whatever it is, all right? This is car. And this is my good painting. This is you in this car, and you with a dude, basically. Let me draw another person there, and I'm gonna. That's why, like, there's a special reason why I make it red. So this car is going to a certain destination. This is point freaking A. This is point freaking B, and you're just sitting there patiently, don't know what's gonna happen. All right, then, unfortunately, there was a rock in the road. Basically, like the flat got tired now, and this car cannot move. It literally destroyed. And all of a sudden, you start to blame the driver. Basically, you're technically sitting on the back, right? You don't have any control about this. You start to blame the driver. You're fucking stupid. You can't do any shit. We're not gonna reach the point B because of you. But the problem is, if you freaking blame someone for a certain outcome, you're a slave. Like, you're literally saying to yourself, okay, I'm out of control. I don't know what to do. Even I faced with the worst consequence, basically, tires getting flat. I'm not gonna change the tire and move on, and instead I'm just gonna blame the driver, which is fucking stupid. But instead, if you just make him hop onto this place, so let me drive you here for a second. Okay, this is you. You said, this guy, like, fuck it, I'm gonna drive. You're fucking stupid. I'm gonna handle the situation. Now you could reach the point B, and let's say like there's a road in the rock again. Like, oh God's sake, the tire got flat. There's a spare tire on the background. Just change it. Just change it, literally, instead of yawning. And this is literally what most smokers do. They just yawn. I'm feeling craving. I'm feeling sorry about myself. I don't know what to do. I have this. I have that. First, you're not special. Like, every smoker has the same disease, literally, and I'm calling it disease, because this is not an addiction. This is just a false belief about ourselves, which literally make us addicted. We literally live in an imaginary trap, for God's sakes. Now you know the main two core things, and let me just quickly make another point on that. So this is the graph. This is kind of the graph I drew in the beginning. And here's another progress line. I'm not gonna paint it to green or something else. I'm just gonna draw a linear line. This is basically an average success graph of a smoker. They make an attempt, become successful, fail, successful, fail, successful, fail, and so many more like that, right? And at the end of the day, they will reach this spot. If they literally stay consistent and say, okay, I lighted a cigarette, but hey, relapse doesn't mean anything at all. And what do I mean by that? Let me just make a quick analogy again. My mind just full of the thoughts. I literally love this, love this. So this is fat guy, all right? This is his belly, whatever. And this is jacked guy. This is his abs. So let's say this guy decided to lose fat because he realized life is going nowhere, whatever, that emotional reason. Then he starts to exercise and make a promise to himself, if he reach the day 90, he's gonna have abs, right? Basically, that's what all sportsmen says. So for some reason, something happens. His father died. Imagine this is a graveyard, and on day 57, he didn't attend the gym because he had to attend his funeral and make a speech. And he starts to think, oh, I'm never gonna get jacked. Why? Because you miss one fucking day, and now he thinks hopeless, maybe even suicidal, because he's never gonna get out of this fat situation. Does the things I said sound smart? Does it any make sense? Of course not. But when it comes to, I'm not gonna draw anything. When it comes to being a smoker, this is a cigarette, this is a face. It's the same it's the same thing, I'm sorry to say. Like, I don't understand why people think like this. Let's say this is day 1, this is day 90, whatever, and you relapsed or lapsed, whatever you want to call, at day 57. And it only stay with 1 cigarette. Maybe you smoke 4 cigarettes, fine. Example wise. Do you think the process is backtracked? Are we working like softwares or games? Like once you attend the game and win, you have to replay? How stupid the things I said, right? I hope it makes sense to you. I hope you understand this fat loss analogy, because like that's literally what happens with smokers. We literally focus on this day mark so much, and that's why it caused this stupid graph as well. Otherwise, like, we could quit like this, you know, like a actual linear process without any falls and downs. But since we are obsessed with something stupid on the line, which is, oh, I relapsed for 1 day, I don't know what to do. Basically, we just start to blame the driver again. We're not gonna go far with that mindset. Even we're gonna smoke more than that. Let's say you smoke 4 at 57, you're gonna smoke 20. Of course, like, I told my story to you, I quit it like a linear graph, but you know, I had 2 massive relapses on this journey. So one day I was chilling with my friend and I ended up smoking 60 cigarettes in 3 hours. 3 hours. And on the next day I acted like nothing happened because, okay, it's just a 1 day. Yeah, I fuck up. I understand, but it's not a big deal. It's literally not a big deal. And I know the things I said sounds kind of delusional, but once you actually been in this process, that's the time you're literally gonna understand fully, 100%. What we could do to abandon this cycle completely? Well, there's one thing. Like I said in the previous minutes, why, decision, and on the bottom you have this. So you actually see, I'm just gonna move away for a second. I'm gonna give examples in my life, all right? Like, I'm losing my girlfriend, I'm losing my career, there's no money in my pocket, I don't know what to do, lack of purpose, blah, 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 blah. And this becomes why. Hey, your life is not going anywhere. Basically, that's an emotional reason. You could say it's logical, but like, if I only picked on the money side or the girlfriend side only, just like pinpoint, maybe that becomes logical. And especially money, yeah. But even if you link it to something emotional, okay, for example, I'm not earning any cash right now and girls doesn't like man who doesn't have cash, and I won't have sex in my future life. Sounds stupid, but that's the point. Even I felt bad when I kind of said that, but that's our emotional why. And I want you to make this why as much as stronger possible, and once you do that, you're literally gonna become unfazable. This is the whole step. Once you nail that, move on. Then make the decision to quit. Sounds stupid, but like literally as smokers we don't make decisions. We just hype themselves up. Like in the first graph, like I told you, yeah, we're gonna do this, put the action, abstain maybe for 4 days, fail on the 5th, 6th, something like that. Then blame the cravings, oh, I don't pass the cravings. Basically, you're not changing the tire, learning about the process, you know. You're literally trying to defeat a habit which you've done for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or I don't know, maybe 20 years. And I'm saying it's possible. I helped two people, like the first guy I helped is smoked 20 years. His literally daughter come up to calls and cried to his dad, like saying, "Daddy, stop, like I need you for my birthday." And it's like, damn, it's painful. But his daughter became his why, you know, not exactly his daughter, but "Daddy, I need you for my birthday" feeling. It's fucking like bad. I literally have a gut-wrenching pain in my stomach right now. And that became why. And it led to making the decision, okay, I'm dropping smoking for eternity. I'm never gonna go back. That's it. He didn't say, oh, I'm just gonna abstain cigarettes, gonna reach the day 30 or something. You know, when you abstain something for 30 days, you're gonna blah, 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 bullshit. He just said, okay, this is a road which doesn't have any turnbacks. Maybe I'm gonna fail, who knows? But I'm never gonna go back. Like that certainty, I want you to pick up on that. Then basically he quit it. He didn't read Ellen Carr, he didn't read any book basically. And he quit it. And besides on that, I'm not shitting about the books. Education is essential. And basically if you have any excuse about cigarettes, let's say cigarette make you think to relax, read an article on that. Break the excuse. But if you don't need it, and most people don't need it, it's just a waste of time, and just extra knowledge can overwhelm people sometimes. So basically this guy is smoke free for 3 months. Now you know every knowledge you need to quit smoking. And if you want to become like this guy who quit smoking like a knife shift, there's a link in the description, my friend. You could book a call with me, we could chat about it and see if I could help it or not. If I could help, I'll literally put my life on that and make you quit like this guy. So this is I2, and I wish you good days, my friend.